What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Hope all is well with you. I just wanted to chime in for a moment to say happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. All of these festive days that we have been allowed to see. It is amazing. I also wanted to stop and say thank you to all of you for your support in the music. You know, it's an honor, man. It is definitely an honor. I know some people take things that you do lightly because they feel as though it sometimes just come by easy, but believe me, by no means has anything been easy, but we believe in what we do. I'm just elated because about 2 years ago, well, actually 8 years ago, when I made up my mind to figure out how to actually, produce myself, I had no idea because technically wasn't inclined as far as the playing and the separating of the different parts and things of that sort of the music. I know the vocal part, but all of the music arrangements and things of that sort. It took me 8 years, thanks to my buddy, my good friend and brother, Antonio Gurley, who imputed into me the whole mindset of, Doc, you can do it. Doc, you can do it. I never forget. And I told him, I said, man, I'm just a singer, man. I don't do all these other things. And I'm grateful to God for crossing paths with this brother. So kudos, man. Thank you so much. Believe me, when the harvest is manifested, believe me, the fullness of his manifestation, I got you. You have no problems with that, simply because a lot of technical stuff I didn't understand, and I still have a ways to go, but I just wanted God to give me the tools that I needed to complete the task. And so we're doing that, and we're grateful to put out so much music. It's so much coming your way in 2020. I'm actually working on 50. What is it called? It's 50. 55 by 30 or something like that, and it's actually talking about the 30 years that I've been in the business, but 55 songs. Now, there's so many more that's coming, but for me to do live shows and everything, I think that's a whole lot of songs to have to know to get through. And what I'm going to do is put together several shows with different lineups of music, simply because there's no way you do 55 songs in one show anyway. But I'm grateful, and I told people years ago all the difference. I mean, I sing this, I sing that, and what happens is a lot of times people get accustomed to just one thing, and they want to hold you there. But if God created you to do much more, you should never hold yourself back. Remember the parable of the talents. If you remember the parable of the talents, you will understand where I'm coming from. You never box yourself in to only be one thing when God has given you the ability to be and do more. Just remember that. I don't know who I'm talking to, whoever you are, rather. Don't forget, whatever is inside of you, let it out. Let people know what God has placed inside of you, because you can't do any more anyway. All you can do is what's there. And after that, you've given your all. So I'm grateful. I posted the other day about the person, and what happens is when CD Baby sends you the receipt of people supporting you, every once in a while, I think it's about 2 weeks afterwards, they would reveal who the person is and things of that sort through their email and where they're from and things of that sort. And they'll actually ask you not to contact them for a minute. But one person went in, and I think they literally downloaded, oh my God, from the Minister John Butler projects to Phase 1. Oh my goodness. everything. Even When I See America, when Obama was in office, this country was feeling so good to me that I actually penned the song, myself and Antonio Gurley, When I See America, I See Love. And it was just my inner feeling of the people had shifted so much. It was so much love, man. And I was like, oh my God. Now we find out many of the folk camouflaged and act like they really loved you. And now we're in a different climate where we see the hatred as it probably has always been. But neither here nor there, it was still something from our heart. And we did it. We penned it. We're writers. We're producers. This is what we do. So, I know I'm ranting a little bit, but I'm excited because most people after 30 years, man, they're done. They done wrapped up everything. You've heard the best that they ever had to offer, and it's over. It's done. And in some cases, people have already died. They've passed on and transitioned. And for me to be here heading into 2020, my goodness, and have everything that I need to continue on. We have right now in the, I guess you can call it your little music vault or whatever, another 130 compositions that I haven't even, we haven't even released yet. And I'm still working on more because the ideas are coming so fast. And thank you to all of the people that are treating people certain ways. You're giving me more music every time I hear certain things. I run in and I type up and I write up and I go in and make my chord changes and structure and everything else. And then I'll come out of the studio and leave it there because I know that's the next 10 songs or that's the next 15 songs. This does not come, the word says, it doesn't come by flesh and blood. Only the Spirit can reveal something of that nature. And so I am honored that God would choose to do something like that for me. I hope you're enjoying the music. Thank you to the many of you. I'm going to reveal something to you. I made a promise to God several years ago, and I've held that promise. I have a pet peeve, but I won't release it just yet. And the reason why I won't release it just yet is because I want you to see it once this harvest is manifested, because when something happens and you knew that you did it the right way, then you reveal exactly what it was. But I'm excited because I kept the promise. And then what I did ask of God, now listen to me. All I asked of God was that every person that runs across my music, that they would at least spend just 99 cents per year, just one song, nothing else, just download one song of mine, not 100 songs, not 5, not 50, not 10, if they just download one. Each person that come in contact with my music, just download one song per year. I would be more than blessed. Now, I believe God is going to do exceedingly above anything that I can ask or think, because that's word. And we have not because we ask not. So that's all I ask of everybody that come in contact with my music. No, I don't need you to buy 100, no, 200 songs, whatever. I did have a person that did, and I posted it because I was excited to see that somebody was that excited about what God has done with me with music, and that the songs touched them so much that they literally bought my entire catalog in one night. I will never forget that, because in my 30 years, I've never had anyone that just went in and said, man, I'm downloading everything that this brother has done. You talking about excitement? That's 30 years. Now, yeah, they bought a CD here, a couple of songs there, not that. So that was, I celebrated that, because first of all, that person had to be blessed. Secondly, that person wanted to be a blessing. And thirdly, I was grateful that they decided to bless me, because sometimes you do wonder, why are people so, I'm always blessed folk, and you always wonder why. And I don't really go out making these requests. I did it years ago. I grew out of it. So I don't ask for the donations. Nothing. I don't make no pleas, no nothing, because it's it kind of takes away from what you believe your value is when you literally have to go out and beg people just for 99 cents. So I did ask of God to touch the hearts of people that come into the knowledge of my music. If the song is something that touches their heart, just one per year. If you would just buy one song per year, I would be so grateful for that, for each person that come into it. And that's all I ask of him, to touch your hearts. And I'm hoping that that's exactly what happens in 2020 and so on and so on. I do want to make one request of you. If by chance you run across a theme that you know I haven't touched upon, when it's dealing with the relationships of one to another, because I want to sing more and more about our relationships one to another, because I oftentimes tell people this: I have no proof, and you have no proof of my relationship with God. It's only based upon what I tell you. You have no proof that I have a relationship with God. I have no proof that you have a relationship with God. But I can say this: the Bible says that they'll know that you're my disciple by your love. And not just by your love for me, which most people boast about all the time, how much they love God, how much they love Jesus. I don't think Jesus is just pleased with that, simply because he told us to love ye one another as I have loved you. So that to me, and this is Jesus quoting, if for those of us that follow Christ, if I don't see the love you're giving to one another, to each other, I don't see the evidence of your relationship between you, God, or Christ. Period. Enough said. So let's share, spread love. We need love. My goodness, in this world right now, man, oh my God, we're in a pickle when it comes down to who really loves who, because we get more excited about the insults that people give one another. Matter of fact, I believe we get more excitement over being able to insult one another, because that's what we do a lot of times. We insult one another, and in many cases unnecessarily. So my whole point was to write music that will first of all speak to your heart, and then hopefully encourage you to love one another. And then thirdly, to make you really feel good about who you are, even in a time when other folk don't feel good about who you are. Doesn't matter. You have to feel good about who you are. That's why I wrote the song, Don't Forget to Love You. Don't forget to love yourself. It's good to love everybody, but first of all, you've got to love yourself. You say, again, going back to the word, love thy neighbor as thyself. That as thyself mean you already love yourself first. And because you love yourself, then you love your neighbor. That's one of the reasons why we deal with people who are full of hate. They hate who they are, or what they haven't completed, or how their lives are going. And so because they hate themselves, literally, they treat us like we're worth nothing. Until a person begins to love themselves, it's hard for them to love you. So, and me. So I love you with all my heart, body, mind, and soul. And the evidence is in everything that I tried to plant, all the seed that I tried to plant into your spirit to continue to love. I hope you had a blessed 2019, and I do pray that 2020, as I've stated to you all, many of you, that it will be an exciting and unforgettable year for you and yours. This will always be my prayer. Y'all keep praying for me, because we're going to keep moving forward in these different styles and these different deliveries. If you notice, even some of the harmonies, I sometimes don't know where they came from, because I don't really mimic a lot of folk. I try to be as original and as natural as possible. We don't use vocoders. We don't use auto-tune. in none of my songs. We just do it flatline the way that God has given it to us, and we pray that it has been a blessing to you. Again, John Butler, I'm grateful for you and for yours. Please tell your friends, your family, your neighbors to at least go in and check out the music. It's numberonemusic.com/John Butler. Or, CD Baby has everything aligned, and I am more than grateful to have done this much music, and will do tons more. I heard you can oversaturate, but how can you oversaturate when don't nobody even know who you are? I'm not that foolish to think everybody in the world know who I am. So until it gets to that point that I'm actually reaching multitudes and millions upon millions, I'm going to keep on pushing through until that actually happens. Again, I love you. Thank you so much. And y'all have a blissful 2020, the rest of the holidays in 2019. And like I said, if you think of any themes that I can possibly write about, hey, look, post it on Facebook, shoot me an inbox, whatever you need to do, an email at johnbutlerofus@gmail.com. That's JOHNBUTLEROFUS@gmail.com. And the of US is of the United States, mainly because of the Jonathan Butler in South Africa, and separate myself from the John Butler in Europe. That's why I did John Butler of US, the United States. So thank y'all. Love you. And again, take care. Enjoy a holiday and 2020 and so on. Take care. God bless.